Now listening to the In My Opinion podcast, the home of edutainment, brought to you by Sakali, DTM, and Uzuma. So get your drinks, snacks, relax, and enjoy.
Yes, we are the In My Opinion, and today we are joined by one of the great cast member from Dreaming Whilst Black, Mr. Demmy Ladipo. I pronounced that right?
Yo, you know you said it properly. That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say my name properly.
I'm a
that wasn't
fellow
related to me.
I'm a fellow Nigerian Yoruba man, so
Yes.
I know my stuff. How you doing today, man?
I'm all good, man. How are you?
I'm not too bad, man. Everyone's a bit nervous. It's our first time doing
I'm
this.
not nervous.
I'm not nervous.
My brother, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm joking. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
man.
So,
Thank you.
I've been watching the show. I'm sure we all have, and I think it's an amazing show.
Amazing.
And I just wanted to know a bit about your journey. You know, how did you get into acting? Where did it start from?
Right. So like from a kid, I always wanted to do acting because like just watching movies from a kid, just dreaming and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to do it. And like through school, did school plays and all this sort of stuff. And then like I wanted to study it in college, and that's when I tried to. So basically, what it was, I wanted to do like performing arts and stuff in college. So when we were in year 11, going into the next year, it was time to pick your subjects. So the time was coming to pick the subjects. So one day I'm driving in the car, and my dad's driving. And I said, Dad, I wanna like, Dad, I wanna do acting. Can I do acting? And then this guy was driving. And he didn't turn his head to look at me. So bear in mind, bear in mind that me as a kid, I'm trying to ask my dad, what I could do in my life. And then he was driving. He said, no.
Whoa.
Just maths. He said, or accounting. Yeah, and literally that was the conversation. I say conversation. It was
wow.
That was the talk, innit? Like, so from that point he said no. So for I didn't do it. So I studied other stuff, and then I got to uni doing so I did biochem and physics.
Wow.
You're a smart
yeah.
man.
I'm telling you.
And then I thought, let me pivot into physiotherapy because I love sports. I thought, okay, if I can't do what I really want to do, but then like I did that at uni, like I failed after the first year.
Wow.
Because I didn't apply myself. Do you know what I mean? Because what I didn't know at the time is that I couldn't apply myself because I didn't care about what I was doing. And it was just in the back of my mind, like, just do acting, just do it, bro. So I failed the first year and dropped out. And the thing that inspired me to like pursue it, like finally, was I saw that film Attack the Block. In uni. Yeah. So in uni they had this sort of cinema like right next to my dorm.
What uni was that, by the way?
I went Bedfordshire. I went Luton.
Okay. Yes.
So,
yes.
if you guys know anything about that place,
Yeah.
back when I went, oh my god, it's terrible. But so I saw Attack the Block.
Great movie.
Really good film. And then I
yeah.
saw a bunch of youths in the film talking just like me from where I'm from. I said, oh, so it's possible.
Wow.
Because I'd never seen that before. Like I've seen like kidulthood and stuff like that, but I'd never seen something that was really like me. And I was like, oh, I can actually do this as like a, you know? Because I've always thought that I was good enough to do it. I just never got encouraged or never got the push to pursue it. So from there, I said, okay, cool. When I dropped out, literally got my day job and I started paying. So I Googled John Boyega, who was and I saw that he went to Identity Drama School. I said, okay, I'm going there. So literally enrolled for the school, and started training from there. And then like obviously it's like a whole long journey to get to this point. But so that was pretty much like the start into it. It was my dad telling me no math.
But he probably was just thinking Nollywood, innit?
Yeah. But to me,
do you know what the killer is? Do you know what my dad studied back in Nigeria?
nah.
Performing arts.
No way.
Oh, the hypocrisy.
He came here.
Wow.
Probably realized, hey, this acting industry is it's not possible. And then he said, and then he did a different job, and then obviously, you know, our parents, they have the mentality that, you know, this academia, it's the
more
only way.
Guaranteed.
It's guaranteed anything of yourself. It's academics and jobs that we can be proud of. So So it's ironic that that naturally he didn't like usher me into acting just because he himself loves films, and he's the one that was showing me bare films I shouldn't have been watching as a kid. Like, I watched Godfather when I was like 8 years old, bro.
Wow.
So I've had an appreciation for film from a young age, and it's because of him. Do you know what I mean? So it's just funny that now I got to a point where I just fell in love with acting, like through his actions and stuff like that. Wow. And he was trying to stop me from doing it. And like, you know what else is funny is that for about 2 years. So when I dropped out of uni, it was a 3-year course. When I dropped out of uni, he thought I was still going.
Yeah. So where was you going?
So, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So what happened was so after that year, I told my parents, I'm going to start commuting now. So I could at least be at home.
Okay.
The days that came, so the first day I literally went outside at like 8, 9 and didn't come back till like 5, 6. I was just outside.
Roaming around.
Bro. Roaming around trying to figure out what the fuck am I going to do.
Dropping out of uni is not an easy
I was like, oh shit. Like, so obviously the days that I had so I had a day job, innit? So the days that I had my job, it was only 3 days a week.
3 days, yeah.
So those like 3 days, I had to try and figure out like what to do. So for like the first 2 weeks, I did that for like 2 weeks, and then I told my mum, I said, Mum, I want to do acting, because she's the softer one, so she's the one that will let me do so. She said, oh, okay, yeah. So that's when I could stop doing it, because my mum and dad aren't together, innit? So I was living with my mum. So luckily, after a couple of weeks, I was able. But for 2 years, I was telling my dad, I'm going uni, like whatever. And then by the end of it, he's like, so how was the grades?
Yeah, graduation.
So I still didn't tell him the truth. I said, I failed. And then he says, so what degree are you going to do?
He wanted to try to entertain nothing else.
Then I told him, I'm like, I want to be an actor, Dad.
So like, for example, obviously for me, from what you're saying, I feel like what's gotten into this space, like representation was like a big part, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Seeing that John Boyega, all of that stuff. Obviously now, fast forward to Dreaming Whilst Black, this really very nice show. And it's like, what about that script attracted you to this role, to this drama series?
Because the scripts, man. So first of all, it's just like laugh out loud funny, like for me reading it. Like the jokes just sort of jump off the page, and then when I look at what the show is in terms of what it means and what it's trying to do, I'm like, this is a no-brainer, man. It's like, in this country, we have so few representations of us in terms of variety. Like, there's one really good one, which I don't believe should stop existing in terms of all the Top Boy stuff. I believe it should exist. I believe it's just shouldn't be the only thing that exists, because when it's like that, then we kind of get a sort of media representation of people that look like us, black men, which is just that we're violent, aggressive people that beat the shit out of people in gangs and stuff like that. So a show like this, where the characters are in no way, shape or form linked to that world directly, and it's all just really authentic black people living their lives. I thought, yeah, man, I got to get involved in this. Like, I have to. And luckily they took a chance on me, and hopefully we made good work.
No, you really did. To be honest, your character Maurice was quite interesting.
Maurice.
Firstly, I don't know if you've heard the controversy about black British actors playing American roles.
Oh yeah,
Americans are getting very annoyed about that. But then here we have a black African
Yes.
playing a black Caribbean role.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a bit
Conundrum.
Like, do you feel that is authentic? Do you feel like, because I feel like as an actor, the whole point of you being an actor is you're supposed to be able
Stepping into
to
someone
step
else's
into
shoes,
someone
innit?
else.
Yeah.
Did you find any issues playing?
I didn't find any issues playing it because the role isn't necessarily like too culturally like dense in the sense of I'm needing to do an accent, I'm needing to do like things that might give it away. You know what I mean? Really, realistically, it's just a character that his parents are from Jamaica, his family's Jamaican, don't get me wrong, like in terms of like the sort of cultural aspect and like the gatherings and stuff like that, it's all Jamaican, but realistically, performance-wise, I didn't have to do anything
Too different.
too different other than a few, like obviously, like I'm Nigerian, so sometimes in the way I speak, in the way I joke, I might just switch into the accent and stuff like that. So I had to stop that. That's the sort of stuff that I had to like actively be like, oh shit, like, because I'm saying like, hey, the fact that you not even understood that just there, like so stuff like that. I had to stop that because you know. If you've ever seen the sketches I made before, like I enjoy being Nigerian, you know. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but I don't see any major problem in it. Okay. I think when you're doing stuff like accents and stuff like that, then it becomes like a slightly different thing because authenticity is the first thing that you want in it. So does it sound right? If it sounds right, then I feel like most people can give it a bly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think sometimes when we start talking about things of like actors losing jobs or not getting jobs, then it becomes a bit more political and it becomes a bit more like, okay, maybe it's not right that living where we live in sense of like, say, if I'm a black American actor, then you lot are just going over to England to get the actors to come and live our experience on camera. I can understand how that would be like triggering and upsetting and stuff like that, and feel unfair because in some ways it is. But you know what? Me personally, like I'm really trying to make my mark here, man. Honestly, because I want to do projects where it's people talking like me. It's people talking like us in this room right now. If we keep on going over to America and I'm doing American roles, you're not really gonna know me. Do you know what I mean? All you're gonna know is, oh, you're such a good American, but what about us? We can do sick shit here, like in our voices. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I love like there's like a great blend of like culture. I love that part. I see some people are speaking Yoruba in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand Yoruba.
Not completely. So
not completely.
There's things that we could talk about here. You know, parents they didn't teach us because they didn't want us to go to school and it ruined our English.
Like
so
me,
I don't speak Yoruba.
So I was gonna test you, but maybe you might
spare me.
You don't want to prefer Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like the fact that your character as well, you had that part, and I guess I agree with what you're saying in terms of you didn't have to deviate too much. It wasn't like a hard role for you to get into because there was one part where during the wedding and you had to dobale, you had to prostrate for that. You're like, get off the floor. That was funny. So did you enjoy like the how did that all come together? How was it like on set? The whole blend of different characters, different background, all of that stuff. How was that like working with those people?
Oh man, it was amazing, bro.
Right.
Like, it was so good because all too rarely in this industry you get opportunities to work with like a majority black production, like from like top to bottom, and that's what this was, and it was just like a breath of fresh air, man. Because you know, this bare jobs that I've been on where I'm the only black guy, and it's fine. It's not like people are abusing me or nothing like that, but it's just a feeling of community. Like this room is black, man. Do you know? This is a comfortable place. I ain't never met you lot before, but I'm comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
And we're not going anywhere now, you met us.
And it's a thing that you might not get in a room where everyone around you looks completely different to you.
Wow.
No, I appreciate that.
So yeah, it was a beautiful experience, man. Like the cultures and just everyone feeling that comfort, you know, and like, oh, we're all eating jollof rice and nobody's complaining about the spice or no one is smell. It's a bit spicy, like it's fine, like, you know.
Sorry, but where was jollof rice
great.
from? Was it Nigerian or Ghana?
Oh no, but that's the beauty is that obviously we could get real people to make the real like the food. In the industry, the caterers like will be like from like, you know, Buckinghamshire and they're making jollof rice.
Like Jamie Oliver was like
and it don't work. And then, you know, a lot of the times the food is one of the things in this industry that's like
it's not the one.
No, I think
it's a nice opportunity to be
that's dope,
in those settings there.
No, you're right. It was nice to watch the very well balanced blend of African, Caribbean coming together. They wasn't arguing with each other. They weren't, you know, going to head. I really enjoyed that. But I think what I found was so much more important was your character's portrayal of a black father. You know, the media normally portrays black fathers as, we leave our kids as sick, absent, single mothers. But your character was reading like it was going for an exam.
Yeah.
Like,
You're talking about the chlamydia.
It was hilarious, by the way. You were proper on it. And then I loved how much you stuck up for your wife when you had a hint, you felt something wasn't right. And they gaslit you and they were like, no, don't worry, take her home. And it turns out you were right. You know? And then even statistically, I mean, black women are 4 more times likely to die from pregnancy than white women. So I loved how the show portrayed that. Why do you think that was important for that to be included?
Like for all the stuff that you just said, like there's no reason why black women should be 4 times more likely to die during childbirth in the UK. Like when it's not a medical thing, it's not like they die more when they like it's just like a lack of care has led to people dying in the sense of thinking that they can take more pain, thinking that they're overreacting, thinking that they're being over aggressive, not giving them enough care when they're saying that they're going through stuff, you know. And I've seen it with my own eyes where they just don't give the same amount of care, bro. Like I've seen it where the nurses, let's say the nurses, will be giving like this white lady gas and air and all this sort of relief and coming over frequently to ask if they're okay. And just kind of not making even a quarter of that same effort for a black woman, you know? Yeah. So it's literally life and death, literally. Wow. So that's why it's like a super important thing. And I know initially that wasn't actually the aim in terms of the story. I think it was more an opportunity to tell this story because from the first pilot, Fumi was pregnant, but the pregnancy wasn't necessarily like a storyline. It was just something that was just a situation. But then obviously once they got into the writer's room, they're like, look, we've got a pregnant black woman here. We can actually tell the story and do this. And we did it. And it was like, it's an important thing, man. Because if they listened in that moment and just went home, she would have died.
That is mad.
Dead.
She would have been dead.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And yet you spoke.
You know, so he had to fight like tooth and nail to make something happen. Do you know what I mean? Because in the moment, he doesn't necessarily get what he's looking for. But it's through that sort of outburst and the commotion that, you know, she was there long enough for the event to happen, for them to be able to
spot it,
preserve both their lives. So yeah, man, it's an important story, and I feel like literally, like we said, life and death, and the story that has to be told.
Yeah, you guys told it so well. Glad you mentioned it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
To another medical procedure that you didn't agree with.
Yeah.
I don't know if you boys watched it, but Mr. Maurice, they had a son whose name was Maiwa. And
the name
Maiwa. Oh, sorry. Sorry, correct me. Maiwa.
You're making me saying it like the way you're saying. Maiwa.
Oh, Maiwa. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously, your character's Caribbean.
Yes.
Your wife is Nigerian. She wants the son to get circumcised.
Yeah.
You were against this. Now, as someone that has been circumcised in a grown age. I was
At the age
circumcised
of
14.
14.
With no anesthetic. Yeah, live and direct in the back of a mosque.
They
in
gave him
Uganda.
Robitussin and I said, go home.
Why do you think your character was so against it?
It's a cultural thing, isn't it? In Nigeria, culturally, there's a big, a lot of the country, or used to be anyway, was Muslim.
Muslim, yeah.
And it's a regular cultural practice to be circumcised.
That's right.
And that's pretty much like not tradition, but that's kind of what informs the desire to get circumcised. And from my knowledge and from what I've seen, it's just not the same for Jamaicans in terms of thinking to do that. A lot of them, from what I've heard, don't partake. Don't see a lot of people see it as genital mutilation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And which is in some ways it is, and it's a weird thing because the practice of it is like, okay, it's a religious thing and it's like, why do we do it and stuff like that? And is it mutilation? Is it thingy? Like, you might be best placed to answer. Because you're actually, you've got a memory of what it is to have foreskin and to not have one. So,
By the way,
but I don't know if you used it up at to know.
No, listen. If you've obviously, I know you've probably just come across our podcast, right? Sukali has been active from a very, very young age. So I think we would need to dive deeper into this at a later stage. Yeah, you've started something.
Yeah.
You started something here.
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
I think let's run it back. Now we have a bigger platform.
Yeah.
But what I will say is I was active before I was circumcised.
Okay, was it better before or after?
I think what I'll say is before the journey lasted longer. Now the journey is shorter, but it's more enjoyable. You see what I'm saying?
So you're enjoying
Wow.
I'm enjoying more, but the journey is shorter.
You're a bad boy.
But one thing to say though is definitely, I'm happy I did it. I don't see it as mutilation. But
And that's someone that's been through it at an age where that's old enough for that shit to be.
I don't want to do it.
Because you know what's so funny? I actually, so I got circumcised, but it wasn't done fully, like, correctly.
Yeah.
So at 13,
Wait, here or in Nigeria?
in the UK, they're calling me now. They made a mistake, bro. Remember, fam, it's not like a medical thing that you can just go, doctor. It's some imam or some rabbi.
Jewish, or rabbi.
Doing it in some room, bro. Like, it's not
Facts.
like a official thing. It's really like, somebody comes over. Like, no, so obviously he had like a clinic. It was like North London that way.
Right.
I remember now. So he had like a clinic. Well, not a clinic, but he just had like a practice, innit?
Yeah.
And like I think did they inject? Nah, they didn't inject nothing, man. Or did they
Wait,
inject?
how old was you when you done
I was
this?
like 13.
Oh, so you was
Same
quite
age.
close.
Yeah,
That's what he said, But it was different because he got like fully circumcised.
Yeah.
Me, it was just like a bit of
clean-up.
skin that was still there that they just had to.
Yeah,
start doing that.
that's what I thought.
The way you keep doing that, it's mad. The way you keep doing that,
Because it's they're cutting it off. Yeah, chop it
Hey,
out.
I can't lie, I'm glad they did that to me when I was young, you know.
I'm
Yeah,
so
no, it's
glad.
better young. It's better young.
And I
It's
think
better
because we
young.
was born in Nigeria, so it was just
So it's
natural.
done.
You realize
It's
as a
done.
baby,
It's just what
as
you
a baby,
do.
just
Yeah.
boom, done.
No, but what I
Wow.
loved in the show is, although you lot disagreed, you came to a compromise.
Yeah.
And I think that was really good to see. You're both from different cultures. Intercultural relationships aren't easy. Everyone has a different culture, but you lot came to a conclusion. Well, not conclusion. Hopefully in season 2. We find out if it gets circumcised. But I love the way she said, "You're my husband. I appreciate you. I'll wait until you're ready." So that was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. No, well done. Well done for that.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if
you
you have
gonna
any. I don't know if you have any questions.
Yeah, I was just gonna
for
say.
me.
Also, in the movie, obviously, you share your house with Kwebeno. He's a roommate.
Yeah.
He's your cousin, right?
Yeah, cousin.
Play the
But
cousin.
you're also his landlord.
Yeah.
That is a weird dynamic. You know, there was a time he didn't really have a job, and you're like, bro, make sure you pay my rent. And then you message him. How did that? Like, how do you think you'd handle that in real life? Like, that is a mad dynamic.
Well, look, I think when a baby's on the way, financially,
he said, "Yo, I just want to spend. I just want this new baby stuff,
bro." You get me? So when a baby's on the way, like mindset wise, like, you know, it kind of changes everything. So everything is mad important, bro. So he's got his cousin there living in his house, which is cool. But it's like, I can't support you forever. And we had an agreement that man was gonna, and when you have an agreement like that, you start banking on money. And it's like, so that 5 bills is coming, and it's like, yo, you don't have the 5 bills, bro. I was planning for that 5 bills, like, you need to have it. You know, so it's like, I can see it from both perspectives. Like, because a lot of people have been saying to me, bruv, you're like mad strict with the rent. And it's like, bro, like,
well, you got a baby coming, bro. What do you mean?
Come on, man. So, but I remember when I first watched it, I was like, that was a bit harsh though. Like, because there's a scene where it's like, you know, when he's throwing all the food out of the, when I'm throwing all the food out of the fridge and stuff like that. Sorry for spoilers. And then like the wife comes and then she's gone. And it's like, oh, okay, babe, where's the rent? Like, it's the way, like, obviously, like, the switch. And it wasn't like that when we did it. But obviously, like, the method of editing, you know, we do bare takes and then whatever gets used is what gets used, innit? So, you know, that's one other thing that I've realised now as an actor is that your performance is nothing to do with you, like, because I perform whatever, and I could do, let's say we do 6 takes. And there's 3 of them that I feel, that was... And there's 3 of them that feel shit. If they use one of those 3 that I don't feel good about, and people watch it and say, this guy's dead.
That's your
you know?
CV's gone.
But then I guess it's crazy because I guess the director, they have like a vision what they're trying to get out of the character. And sometimes, like you're saying, you might be like, that's the best one, but they actually have a direction. They have what they want people to perceive that character as. So they're gonna be like, we're gonna use the other one, isn't it?
That's why they always say, look, you just have to trust
the director.
Trust the director. Wow. Trust the editors. Trust that they're all gonna try their best to make it.
Was you happy with overall? Would you say you was happy with the way your character was kind of portrayed throughout the whole first season there?
Yeah, for sure. I think when I think about the role in terms of black dads, how black men are seen as partners as well as present fathers and stuff like that. I think I think I'm happy with how it comes across, and happy with my own performance in general, actually, which you don't often. You're not often happy with your own.
I mean, there was one thing you did I didn't like. There was one thing Maurice did. You put a picture of your child on the internet. And it made me remind me of those parents that create Instagrams for their children and then reply in the comments.
But I think he was happy
as the child, didn't it?
Would you do that in real life? Do you think you would put?
I think. Yeah. Because because it's like the way I see it, it's like, I know that there's mad people out there that like. See, what I won't do is the whole making an Instagram for your kid, child, and making bare people follow it. If it's like, obviously my Instagram is my life, innit, and like my child is part of my life. So I'll show it, like, because the thing is, I feel like when people post a picture of their child and then they hide the child's face, it's just like,
what's the honesty?
Come on, I don't care. But that's because I'm a normal person. There is somebody out there that might be.
Jesus,
but there is that's what the fear is, isn't it?
That's right.
Somebody's out there, you know, being very inappropriate and stuff like that. Exactly. But it's kind of like. honestly, unless it presents itself as a problem one day in the future and it's like, oh shit, okay, I'm never doing this again. I don't see enough of a problem with it to be like, oh, I'm never doing this.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I think
they're flagging us. Yeah, they're flagging us. Now he's gotta go.
The boys really wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, he's gotta go.
Kwabena had a situation where he went out to meet his girlfriend's friends for the first time. And I'm sure you saw that scene. And
listen,
they went to dinner. Sorry for the spoiler.
Yeah,
it was very difficult for him. And I remember he had this flashback. I want to call it a flashback.
A little alter ego type thing.
Where he thought of telling them no, he doesn't want to pay for the bill. Because he only ordered a soup. Right? He only ordered a soup because he knew he wasn't working, money's tight. Everyone else on the table, his girlfriend's friends were ordering lobsters, champagne.
That's a setup, you know.
Big setup, right? The bill came, he's now panicking. As his friend, what would you have advised him to have done? Did he do the right thing?
No.
By paying for everything, or should have been honest?
You know what? Overall, he did completely the right thing. Why? Because he called to cancel that card straight after. So he saved face in the moment, and he also kept his money in the end.
That's true.
So he actually handled it the best way possible.
Yeah.
You know, but like in real life, I thought, you better pay for yourself and your girl.
You know, like that,
innit? Pay for your girl as well, innit? Cool.
Yeah, but not everyone.
Any girl that...
Anyway, they were grilling him.
Does
it make money? Does it make money?
Yeah,
Does it make money?
Oh, but
Lightning.
Bro, son.
This is what happens when you pick someone up from the bus stop.
Listen.
that's why I loved it.
A man ate only soup.
I
was about to pay for a whole meal.
The bill was... You know what? It's so funny because when they were first talking about it, they were saying the split was £90 each.
Yeah. And
Now,
On a first day, that'll be your friend.
all I had soup for the day.
So and that's the split between 4 people. So what would all of their individual bills been like?
Exactly.
That's wild. Man tried his best to get the soup of the day.
They tried him there still.
Tried.
No.
All right, Dreaming Whilst Black then. What would you say quickly to people? Why should they go and watch it?
Yep.
I think you should go watch Dream Whilst Black because it is a funny, truthful, honest perspective into a part of the Black British experience in the UK. And yeah, it's just sick, and I'm in it, man.
Come
There
on,
you go. I like that.
Energy.
Any like exclusive like because also I've watched the whole thing. Any part 2, season 2 approved. You know,
honestly, we
spoil any exclusive.
The show just came out last Monday, so at this point, they just want to see they want to track the metrics and stuff like that over like a little period of time. But honestly, I'm pretty sure we'll get a season.
Amen. These guys, go watch it.
And if you need extras, obviously we all have acting credentials in the background.
I can speak Yoruba fluent. Fluent.
Man.
Yeah. I can't speak Yoruba, but I can try. I can try if that's what it needs.
Look, I'm playing Jamaican. It's easy.
Yo.
Now, thank you.
No worries, man.
You are our first junket.
Yeah.
Look at that, man.
Look at that.
There we
We'll
go.
never forget you, guys.
We'll never forget
coming on.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so
guys,
much.
make sure you watch Dreaming Whilst Black on BBC iPlayer.
BBC iPlayer, BBC Free. You can watch it on Showtime in America, Paramount Plus.
Global, baby.
September 8th and September 10th in America. So yeah, man.
And that's on what, sorry? Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus, September 8th, that's streaming.
Yeah.
And Showtime on TV in America, September 10th.
Wonderful. Guys, make sure you watch it.
Brilliant.
In My Opinion podcast. Out.
Love, man.
Peace.
I'll definitely come back, man.